What is going on YouTube? My name is Mario from Exclusive Auto Detail. We're about to give you another banger video today, so stay tuned. I've been reading all you guys' comments, so this video is dedicated to all the positive people and maybe the haters. In today's video, I've been reading a lot of you guys' comments. Even though we kind of did a van setup, people want a more in-depth of maybe the tools and equipment that I'm using, maybe the stuff that's inside my van specifically. So we could do a couple things. Like I said, guys, I detail full time. I've had this setup for about 3 years already. This isn't a pretty setup, but this is what it is, man. I'm debt free and I'm super proud to say that. So yeah, we have a 75-foot hose reel. This is not a Cox reel. I found this on OfferUp. A lot of times I'm gonna do a budget method, but it works great, man. It's exactly like a Cox reel. I've never had any issues with it. Another thing I have is gonna be my air compressor. I believe it's 50 feet. I picked this up at Harbor Freight. It's really easy, connected with my Valmet, which is my Tornador. This is what I use to do my interior details. The other thing that I use is a Harbor Freight 3500 generator. What's interesting, I hear a lot of mixed reviews with the generator. I've had 3 of these guys and they work great. I think this one specifically has almost 600 hours on the generator. Doesn't give me any issues. Obviously you gotta make sure you do your oil changes and put gas. After in the corner, we have a electric reel by Husky. I believe it's 35 feet. One thing that I always use, I use a table, and I have one bin that is dedicated towards my towels. It's kind of unorganized right now because we just finished detailing. But what I do is I have one row that is specifically for drying towels, and then the other 2 are gonna be my yellow towels. If you guys are wondering, I generally just use the Costco towels because of how cheap or how easy it is to get. A lot of the times I used to use like the fancier ones. I still have them, but for me, I just realized the Costco towels are the way to go. Now, this is where things will probably get interesting for you guys, is I have another yellow bin, and I just call this my mystery box. I think the first thing I'm gonna use is gonna be my blow. I've had this for years. If you guys can see, it's been through the ringer. I tape this up, and then I also have placed the extension cable. But you know, it's very ergonomic, very powerful. So yeah, then we also have 2 different Milwaukee drill brushes. This one I use for rubber floor mats, or I change the attachment, and then sometimes I'll use it for cloth seats. And then I have this one, and I like to use it for the floor mats, for the carpeted floor mats. And then I also use it for like the corners by the footwell sometimes, especially with Hondas or the cheaper cars. I am using a Rigid vacuum. This is gonna be different than most detailers. This is actually 6 horsepower. I'll repeat it again, it's 6 horsepower versus your 5. Do I notice a difference? The answer to your question is yes. That little bit of extra power helps me with the vacuum. And then I just got this hose, I think it's 14 feet or 12 feet. I got it at a local detail store. Probably my favorite tool is gonna be the crevice tool, because it's gonna allow me to get inside all those nice and tight to reach areas, and also I don't have to strain my back when I'm doing a car that's super low. Also, when I do Porsches or GT3s, a lot of them have a carbon fiber seat, so it actually doesn't go forward and back, so I'm able to fully extend my arm out, and then I'm able to vacuum. Something that I think a lot of detailers should have is gonna be a 10 by 15 canopy, or any canopy that you guys have. I've been very fortunate to work with multiple vehicles, and this was actually broken, and I went to Norco to get it repaired, and that's how I'm able to use it. If you can see, I'm able to fit trucks. You guys gotta stay hydrated. I got this ice chest from Costco. Now all the ice has melted, but it's been there for about 3 days. But you name it, we got water, drinks, we got the protein bars, so Reyes can get his protein in there. But you guys always gotta make sure to stay hydrated. I can't criticize how difficult or how important it is to make sure you guys are cool, especially in these summer heats, man. So yeah. Alrighty, we are now inside of the van. Surprisingly pretty roomy. When I have no money, I tend to sleep here sometimes, so this is also another area where I like to sleep. But if you guys can see, I'm running the Rigid. I think it's the 4.5 gallon. Never had any issues, but you guys gotta remember to empty out the tanks, because a lot of moisture gets in there. This is my second one, so I didn't know you're supposed to maintain them, so it got all rusted inside. And then if you guys can see in here, I just carry a lot of like extra supplies. So I always carry like a brush or towels in case maybe I forget something, or if something breaks. I also carry extra pads. I just like to be extra prepared in case of something happening. I also have my Milwaukee polisher. We talked about that in a couple videos. It fits perfectly. And then I have a detail chemical rack where it's kind of divided. Right here are gonna be probably the smaller bottles, as you guys can see. you know, whether it's going to be a detail spray or my glass cleaner that doesn't fit on the bottle racks. And then on the second row, I tend to have my Coach Chemi or smaller bottles that are not a gallon. And then on the bottom are going to be my heavy hitters, are going to be my wheel cleaners, or anything that's a gallon. It's going to be on the bottom rack. And then if you guys are wondering why I have towels on the bottom, sometimes if I overflow my water tank, I like to have the water or the towels absorb it and I just throw them away. Alrighty, and then as you guys can see, we are in the van. This is the Moneymaker. This is a 2001 Chevy Astro. Now, originally I did not have AC in this car for a while, but shout out to Chris, he helped me out, so now I have AC. But man, you know, I was roughing it, man. I picked up this Milwaukee fan at Home Depot, and this is literally what I would do, man. I would drive with the windows down, and I would have it blowing in my face, man, because it was just so hot. Inside the van is kind of a mess, guys, so I do apologize. I don't have like a wireless, I don't have Bluetooth, so I just use this JBL audio, which works perfectly. You guys got to make sure you guys have a dash cam. Keep in mind, I installed this myself, so it's not very good, but I have myself a dash cam, so I'm able to record whatever's in front of me. But I also have a backup camera. I picked this up on Amazon for maybe 60 bucks, but it's been a complete game changer. If you guys are wondering why, I can't see behind me because I have all the chemicals. So I used to always have to be careful when I would reverse, but now with the backup camera, and it's technically a dash cam, if someone cuts me off, I feel really confident that I can be able to prove them. Other than that, I also like to keep my floor mats on the dash. I don't know why, so they don't get nice and crinkled. It's just a weird habit. I don't know if you guys do that, but whenever I do someone's car, I just make sure to grab two. But let me know in the comments, what do you guys carry in your van that maybe I haven't talked about? Put in the comment below. A lot of you guys in the comments were asking me what type of chemicals I use in my detailing business. I'm gonna do my best to quickly summarize them. My favorite interior cleaner by far is gonna be Polestar. You guys heard me talk about this over and over again. It works great on the interior, doesn't leave any residue. I've been using this more actively is Active Foam. It's a very good pre-wash when the cars are not heavily contaminated. But shout out to Vital at Victor at Detail Supply. I'm not even gonna try to pronounce this, but this is a really strong pre-wash, especially for customers that don't have their vehicle under a maintenance plan under myself, but that don't want to pay for that clay and seal. I just put a bunch of this in the foam cannon. Be careful not to put too much and not to be in direct sunlight, but it works really good. I love my air fresheners, but this has been really good. This is by BioBomb. It is called Fresh AF. The smell, I don't know how to explain the smell, but it's more of a deodorizer, and I haven't had customers complain. Whenever there's a kind of like a lingering smoke odor or maybe a dog, but they don't want to pay for an odor bomb, I reach out for this. Now, these are going to be probably my go-to. This is my favorite polish by Shine Supply out in Ventura County called Classic Polish. I've been using this polish for so long, and then I like to use Sonax Cut Max for my compounds. I've never had any issues when it comes to dusting, and most of the time it cuts right through. Now, this is where things are gonna get really interesting. I love Gyeon Wet Coat. It works really good as a wet application. However, it's 90 bucks a gallon. I forgot who told me this, but someone told me to try out Clean by Pan the Organizer. Now, if you guys want me to do a separate video on this, I will. I have some good and bad things to say. However, I think I'm gonna replace Wet Coat for Clean. I like the ease of use of it and the gloss that it provides. Now, the durability, I'm not sure yet, so you gotta give me some more time. And also, this is more expensive than Wet Coat. Well, this was 25 bucks for the bottle. I don't know how much it's for the gallon, and it's not as easily accessible. Okay, these are my heavy hitters. I have them by the gallon. P&S Swift. I love to use this on my maintenance customers. It leaves a nice gloss without leaving that sticky inside residue. And then you guys know my Viper dressing. It's a water-based dressing, highly dilutable, a little bit on the pricey side, but this gallon goes a long way, guys. I dilute 3 to 1, so 3 parts, and I do the rest water. And last but not least is going to be my non-acid wheel cleaner. This happens to be by Premier, but you could also use NanoSkin Ultra Clean, or yeah, Ultra Clean, NanoSkin. In my opinion, they're generally the same. But let me know in the comments below, out of these chemicals, which one do you use, or which one don't you like, or which one do you think I should use instead of these? Let me know, comment below. I may not go to the gym every day, guys, but right here is leg day. Now, Reyes, I gotta pick up these really high up. I think this weighs like 80 pounds. Here we go. Boom! Boom, Reyes. Let's do a little leg real quick. Boom, no warm up, Reyes. Oh, I almost fell.
Where do you put it?
I put it right here, I'll show you. So now I'm gonna show you how I put all this stuff away into my van. So the first thing I do, I always put my heavy drill brush items first, and then we're gonna get the towels, and it's crazy. It's gonna be like a little puzzle piece, but it's gonna fit perfectly. I don't know how and why. We're gonna get my flex polisher. It's gonna go behind there. We're gonna get my Rig-It vacuum, and it's gonna go literally, you can't make this up. It barely fits. If you guys are wondering what these extension cables are for, when I used to drive and people would cut me off, I'll hit the brakes. This almost hit me in the head. So now what I do, and this is a good tip for you guys, if you guys are having that issue, get a bungee cord, and now your vacuum is not gonna move on you. And then once again, I don't know if this is destiny or fate, but people ask me why I use this specific ice chest. You wanna know why? Cause it barely fits. So then we're gonna put the ice chest in there. We're gonna go ahead and put my bucket, and then the other hook is gonna go here. So same thing, when I slam on the brakes, I don't have to worry about it hitting my face. And then we're gonna pick this up. We're literally gonna drop it. And once again, guys, you guys cannot make this up. If this thing was 2 inches bigger, I wouldn't have been able to close it. It barely clears it. Next, I'm gonna get my table and my ladder, and I'm gonna put it in between the two items. And then we're gonna get my little table. I use this table for my carpets, or if I wanna put bottles in there. Now, if you guys are wondering if I'm doing an interior detail, I still technically have space for my carpet extractor, or I still have space for my steamer. Whenever I do a clay and seal or a one-step polish, I still have room for my Milwaukee lights and stuff like that. So, and then we close it all up. We have tint so no one can see what's inside the car, so no one breaks into my stuff. Alrighty guys, that's gonna wrap up today's video. Today you guys watched a really in-depth video, so shout out to all the comments on paying attention to all you guys. You guys wanted to see my van, the setup, which equipment I'm using, and more importantly, how do I put it away. But let me know in the comments below what type of videos you guys wanna watch, but I gotta go to my next detail. Peace out.